It's a beautiful day at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where tonight the stars of the XASCAR Motorstardom Cup Series go racing one final time here in season number 16. 4 drivers racing for one championship. All comes down to this. Tonight, Connor Schifari, Corbin Collins, Jason Marshall, and Larry Miles will race in 100 laps for a championship. We'll see who can get it done tonight, and maybe if somebody can steal the victory. All coming up next here on BRN. This is the OD Blackjack 130 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
It's gonna be an all-nighter, midnight buzz, all warmed up, bring on the headliner. The boys are all here, we're fired up, and if it's your first time with us, you ain't gonna know what hit ya. It's gonna get turned, it's gonna get right, lit up bright on a Friday night. It'll go off and blow up just like a funny would. It's about to get good, when we show up it goes down. It's already off the hook. I've been here right now. So can I get a witness? You don't wanna miss this. If you ain't sticking around, well you should. I would. 'Cause it's about to get good. It's about to get good. Yeah, it's about to get good. Oh, it's about to get good. Oh, yeah. It's about to get good. Oh, yeah. It's about to get good. Come on, everybody, kick it up. Gonna get good. It's about to get good. When we show up, it goes down.
And we are live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, getting ready to go racing tonight after a lot of troubles amongst everything to get this session set up and ready to go. But we're ready for tonight here at Las Vegas. 23 drivers here set to go racing, but 4 drivers of importance will be chasing a championship. One of those is the fastest in practice so far, Connor Schifari. Ethan Workman, second fastest than Dimitri Munoz. Corbin Collins, our second playoff driver, in 4th, and Jason Marshall rounds the top 5. The 4th and final playoff driver, Larry Miles, currently 15th fastest on the speed charts. Dawson Allen in the booth as always, joined with Ryan Bogie. Ryan, it is championship night here in XASCAR. We're going to leave tonight's race with a new champion.
Yeah, after 22 long races and a long season, we have finally made it to the final race, and most importantly, the championship race. 4 of these drivers will come down to battle it out. One of them will leave as a champion. It should be a good one tonight here at Las Vegas.
Definitely looking forward to it, seeing how it all plays out, because it should be a lot of fun here. Las Vegas Motor Speedway is prime for some good racing, and I'm really excited to see, what these drivers can do out here tonight, and maybe, trying to shake things up with some of these guys that aren't playoff drivers, trying to go out there and win this race, like Ethan Workman here in the 03.
Of course, Ethan Workman finding victory lane for the first time since season 1 at Nashville last week. So he's looking to go back-to-back with to end the season off right in that 03. And he's been pretty fast. I feel like he's going to be fast tonight once again.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's not going to be a shocker to see him up here in second fastest, and much less to see him out here trying to win this race tonight to go for what would be his second checkered flag in this many weeks. So going to look and see about some stats here at this racetrack, things that we've seen. So this is the 4th official race here at Las Vegas. We did not run here this past season, season 5. We are running here, of course, in season 6 for the iRacing side of things. Or actually, this is season 5. I'm tripping. So we ran here last season. The only season we didn't run here was season 2. It was Austin Doran who took the checkered flag in season 1. Last season, the defending race winner is Corbin Collins in the 71. So Definitely something to keep tabs on is the fact that he is our defending race winner, and he enters tonight's race with a chance at a championship. So we'll see what that 71 machine can do.
Yeah, it's been a while since Corbin Collins has found victory lane. Hasn't found victory lane at all in these playoffs, but has survived long enough to make it all the way to this Final Four and battle it out for a championship. And he's pretty quick at these mile and a halves, so watch out for this 71 car tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be a threat for sure. And that's going to be the checkered flag flying, so we're ready to go racing here, or at least qualifying, I should say, here in Las Vegas and Sin City. Of course, all bonus points are out the window for our Championship 4. It's a matter of fact about who can qualify out in front. And we'll see Corbin Collins be one of the first to head out on to the racetrack to qualify that number 71 machine. So Corbin Collins making his way down the back straightaway here at Vegas. Now, if you'll notice, bright yellow walls here at this Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The new iRacing update has finally gotten Vegas looking like its current form that we're used to seeing on race weekends here in real life. So we got the bright Pennzoil yellow walls, and gone is the back straightaway sponsorship. I think it was the Nellis back straightaway. When it was painted on the wall right there. Now it's just a bright yellow strip of walls. So cool to see this track get an update visually and finally kind of catch back up to the current day. But right now, Corbin Collins, second fastest. Jason Marshall is the top charts with Aiden Smith, Brandon Thomas, Larry Miles, your top 5 right now. Collins now making an effort for his final lap here.
Jafari making his way out right now. Gonna set his lap late while all these other championship drivers kind of coming out early. So far, 15. Sorry, so far 15 drivers have set a lap. Still a few of them out there right now, completing their first laps.
Heading back to Connor Jafari, see what he's doing right now. Has yet set a lap time in that 9 machine. Other playoff drivers: Jason Marshall 3rd, Corbin Collins is 4th, and Larry Miles is 11th. Jafari is going to hit the line this time for his first time lap to 29.933. Good for number 2 on the speed charts, just behind Ethan Workman. Looks like the speed is in the first lap and not the second lap. Jafari may have a chance to try to reset and go one more go at the pole. And he chooses not to. So we'll go back to somebody who is on the racetrack right now. Not a playoff driver, but making his way out on the racetrack to qualify. This is the 42 of James Yusa. He was a playoff driver this season, had a pretty good run, all things considered, here in season number 5, season 16 overall, season 5 on iRacing. 50 starts to his name. This will be his 51st start on the iRacing side of things. He has not won a race yet. Don't want to say for sure that he's not going to win ever, but he's had a really solid season, all things considered. You know, finished 5th last week at Nashville. Just all around a really good run here in season number 5 for James Yusa. Just looking to see if he can't finish off on a high note with the checkered flag in his hand.
And even though he hasn't found victory lane, consistency has been his biggest part and playing a factor throughout his playoffs and this whole season. I believe he was only about 5 or 10 points short from making it to the final four in this race. So a good season for James Uso all around.
Yeah, his biggest benefactor, you mentioned the consistency, but also, too, just being able to stay out of harm's way. 42 has always been able to miss all the big wrecks. He's been able to miss all the chaos and be there at the end of the race to take the checkered flag in a good spot. And, you know, he's consistently been top 20, top 15 for the most part in that stretch during the playoffs, to where he was just consistently getting good finishes. You know, I think the playoffs started at Kentucky, and he finished top 15 all but once, and that was Rockingham, where he wrecked out and finished 20th. So he had a lot of good runs, and looking for one more to close out the season. So the checkered flag is going to fly in qualifying. We'll take a look at your starting lineup here in just a second as the field gets ready to grid. Let's take you through how they're going to slot in for tonight's race. It is Ethan Workman starting on the pole for the final time this season with Connor Shafari, one of our playoff 4 drivers, to his outside. It's Jason Marshall with Dimitri Mundris starting in row number 2 together. Corbin Collins and Ryan Barone make up row number 3. Then Brad Sawinski and Aiden Smith in row 4. Brandon Thomas and Diego Roldan round out your top 10.
In row number 6, we have Quinton Haley. Right beside him is Blake Walker. Row number 7 sees our last Final Four driver of Larry Miles. He starts 13th with TJ Laird to his outside. Row number 8, Oscar Enriquez with Matthew Logan. Row number 9, Jason Samito and Chase Gibbons. And rounding out your top 20 is Jeff Acevedo and James Usa.
And the rest of your field, 3 drivers left after that. Ryan Kame and Braden Richard in row 11. And shotgun on the field tonight is the 17 of Declan George mentioned. Last season's winner in this race was the driver of the number 71, Corbin Collins, looking to go back-to-back, and this one would clinch him a championship if he can do so. We've got 100 laps of racing lying in wait for these drivers here tonight. There are no stages, no anything else. We've just got 100 laps ready to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You can go all the way back to Daytona this season and just look at how things played out. It was a good finish, a chaotic finish in the final laps, with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer coming away with the checkered flag in his hands. An eventful first race of the season. Dimitri Mundris picked up a win in the race number 2, followed by a 4-peat by Alexander Hyder, winning 5 of 6 races. Corbin Collins won at Iowa and Charlotte earlier this season. Alexander Hyder just, really ripped off a ton of wins. There was that stretch there. That was 8 races where the only twinners were Alexander Hyder and Corbin Collins in the 71. You had Chris Lilly pick up the win at iRacing Super Speedway just after the holiday break, about a week afterwards. Dimitri Mundris picked up his 2nd win at Kansas. Then Connor Shafari finally got the victory lane at Darlington and fired off when he needed it most. Corbin Collins started to roll as well at the beginning of the playoffs, or just at the end of the regular season, I should say. Jason Marshall got that elusive first career victory at Talladega, and he finds himself racing for a championship here tonight. We saw Garrett White pick up a win at Auto Club, a long overdue win for him. Same with Ethan Workman last week at Nashville. And we saw another first-time winner in Jamie Wright in that entirely chaotic, frantic photo finish battle at Rockingham. But it all comes down to tonight.
And the sun's going down. The track temperature is going to cool off just a little bit. 22 races later, time to crown ourselves our champion here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
We've had a multitude of drivers make a case to try to win a championship. But it comes down to tonight, where 4 drivers have the best chances yet. Connor Shafari, Jason Marshall, Corbin Collins, and Larry Miles will duke it out for a championship, while everybody in this field of 23 dukes it out for a checkered flag. The pace truck's off for the final time to kick off a race here at Las Vegas. Workman, the final pole sitter of season 16, will lead us to green. We are racing here at Las Vegas. Workman maintains the lead on lap number 1. Connor Jafari in 2nd. Jason Marshall right behind in 3rd. Then it's Dimitri Mooners and Corbin Collins. That's your top 5 here on lap number 2.
As the field starts to get single file now, Ethan Workman has about a 3-car length lead over Connor Jafari. Jafari right now leads all the final 4 drivers, with Jason Marshall right there, right behind him.
Battling further back here, Corbin Collins trying to hang on to 5th place over Ryan Barone. He's got Aiden Smith, Bradley Sawinski side by side. The 7th place position, for Aiden Smith. There's Quentin Haley and Brad Sawinski on the outside now. The 28 trying to work the top here early on in this race, but up front battle is for 2nd. Here comes Marshall catching to the back bumper of Connor Jafari.
2 of our championship contenders, 2 drivers that have had some bad blood this season. Back at Indy, they wrecked each other for the lead. Back at Iowa, they wrecked each other for the win. It's just been nothing but contact between these 2, so it's going to be interesting as you see Jason Marshall makes the pass.
And that doesn't even mention probably the most egregious of them all, Rockingham. That 3-car Jason Marshall sent it in way deep. Ended up taking out Jafari and others. That would lead to Jamie Wright stealing the checkered flag there right at the end of that race. So definitely no love lost between these 2. And if it comes down to it, Jafari will absolutely use the bumper to get by that 3-car.
Oh, definitely. And I meant to say Rockingham. I got my tracks confused there. I forgot. I was thinking Iowa for some reason.
See the field getting really just single file as they go here. Coming to lap number 6 this time by. Ethan Workman is still controlling this field for now. Jason Marshall's in 2nd. He is currently your championship 4 leader and is currently in position to win the championship. But he's still got 95 laps to go, so way early in this race. Plenty of time for anything to happen that could take him out of contention.
Yeah, and notice up here, the one thing Jason Marshall has over Connor Jafari right now is he's got teammates in this race. He's got a teammate out front leading right now. He's got a teammate right behind Connor Jafari. That's Dimitri Mundris. So that 3 has a few teammates. Connor Jafari does not have any teammates in here to help him. So he's just going to have to do this all by himself.
Looking through the back half of this field, got some drivers moving forward right now. A guy like Quentin Haley's up to 7th. He's up 4 spots from dropping the green flag. The biggest mover so far is Praven Richard up to 15th, up 7 spots since the green flag flew here tonight. A little bit of battling in deeper half of this field, just at the top 10 mark. As it's Brandon Thomas going by, Ryan Barone who continues his backslide. He's back 6 spots now since we took the green flag. Get past there by Larry Miles in the 30. Our final championship 4 contender right now just kind of out back. Really, I'd say just biding his time for now.
Yeah, just taking it easy, trying to get used to this track right now. Kind of he's qualified outside the top 10, so it looked like he was struggling in practice. So just taking time to get used to this racetrack. Hopefully be up there, maybe play some strategy to get up there at the end.
Yeah, he is just trying to make sure that he can be there at the end of this race. All that matters to him really is just winning this championship. I mean, he is just looking to win it here tonight, but he has to only beat 3 guys. I mean, it doesn't matter where he finishes tonight. He can finish, 19th place. That can still be good for a championship. So that's all he's looking forward to, is just making sure he can make it to the end of this race and have a chance at the end of it. Jason Marshall is starting to close in our race leader, Ethan Workman, right now. He's pulled Jafari, Mooners, and Smith up, as now we got a slower car here. Brandon Thomas slow on the apron there. Losing a ton of spots, and you're going to see it's Jeff Acevedo trying to go to the apron to get around him. He's going to slow Acevedo up, but Thomas dropping way back here. He was just in the top 10. He's now back to 18th in this number 4 car.
Yeah, it looked like his car stepped out coming out of turn 4, got very loose. Just held on to it locally.
Battle of the Busch Brothers schemes there. Matthew Logan driving the Kurt Busch scheme from 2014, the Haas Automotive. There's Brandon Thomas. He's always running Kyle Busch schemes. This one, the Lucas Oil scheme that Kyle has run in recent years with Richard Childress Racing. Back up front, Marshall still putting pressure on that 03 for the race lead. It's Ethan Workman looking to just stink up the show from all the playoff drivers and take on the checkered flag. You got a battle for 5th. Aiden Smith working the outside lane of Corbin Collins, working on that 71 machine. Back in the background, Quentin Haley's got Brad Sawinski to his inside for 7th. Really just kind of, everybody think, pacing themselves early on here.
Yeah, the temperature on the track is only 86 degrees, so it's kind of making it's kind of making it hard to pass out there, as you see Corbin or Aiden Smith just lets that 71 by. Aiden Smith, I've noticed he's been trying to work that middle to outside lane, and it just doesn't seem like it's working for that 89.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work tonight. I think with the temperature being so low, I think with, you know, not being able to get a lot of rubber down, not a lot of people are gonna want to venture up there because it's definitely not working. The bottom has got grip. You've got the ability to make the corner. You're not sliding around all over the place. So I'm really thinking you're not going to see a top lane form tonight. You might see it on like the first 2 laps of the restart, kind of like how you would see in the you know, the NASCAR package they used to run with these cars, essentially, like with the Gen 6, the slot car style racing, as the drivers would call it, where the outside can work on the restart the first lap or 2, but after that you need to get to the bottom and you need to be on the bottom lane immediately. That's what I think we're going to see tonight, is just a matter of the inside line is going to be the priority where you want to be. It's going to be king to have track position, so pit stops are going to really play a factor if we get green flag ones.
And if we do get green flag pit stops, that 71 of Corbin Collins, he's got a history of speeding on pit lane this season, so it's going to be interesting watching him come in and pit under green. Same for all these other playoff drivers, but just him especially, since he has such a big history of speeding on pit road this season.
Yeah, and the flip side of that coin, you know, Collins has both won races and lost races on pit road this season. I think anybody can say that. It seems like it's very astute observation, but it's true. This 71 has had some of the fastest stops this season on pit lane, but at the same time, he has served a lot of penalties for speeding where he's completely thrown his races away. So, you know, it's the catch-22. I think you saw Chase Gibbons and Brandon Thomas. Thomas going to hit the outside wall. I think Gibbons is still going. And James Yusa
has a lot of front-end damage.
No caution. We're still green. We'll go back and see what happened to these 3. I think it starts with Chase Gibbons here. Thomas working the outside lane, and you can see he tries to get the run down the backstretch. I don't know what was going on with Chase Gibbons. It's out of control. It's Thomas and Yusa into the back of the 6. So heavy front-end damage to that 42. Likely could be race killing. We saw the same thing happen earlier this season at Atlanta. Alexander Hyder. He got in the back of somebody, and it completely pushed in his front end, and it killed his race. His engine would go kaput near the end of it.
Yeah, also at Fontana a few weeks ago, we saw Marshall's and Dimitri's nose pushed in. They were running so slow around the racetrack to try not to blow up. Chase Gibbons is on pit lane.
As is Brandon Thomas. So we got a battle for 3rd. Dimitri Munoz catching Connor Trafari, trying to get by for 3rd place now. On the inside goes the 14.
Yeah, Dimitri Munoz coming on to long run. He's been one of our better drivers at saving tires for these long runs. So it'll be interesting to see him get around the 9.
Goodness, he was doing up there. He was back and forth, on that wheel in the backstretch. Not sure if he just got loose or something, but he was fighting that 9 car all the way down the back straightaway. He hangs on to it, keeps it going, and he's now back to the inside of Dimitri Munoz, who just blinked out. And will reappear ahead of Corbin Collins. Disappear, reappear again. 14 having connection issues. Still there than not. He's back to the inside of Connor Trifari. Side by side, door to door. Slides out of both of them on the exit of turn 4.
And this is going to help Marshall pull away from this 9. Now here comes Corbin Collins trying to take advantage of Connor Trifari.
Collins to the inside. Moonders going to the top side. Trifari going to try to stick it in the middle. Collins is right there, door to door with the 9. Who's going to slide up towards the 14. As Collins takes the spot from Trifari, he's all over his back bumper, though.
This longer run, I've noticed some of these drivers starting to get a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. So that's going to be something to watch out for.
Collins takes over second in the championship from Connor Trifari. Larry Miles still back in 11th.
The 30 of Larry Miles probably going to have to play a little bit of strategy here for these green flag pit stops. Maybe pit a little bit earlier. Try to get that track position with the undercut. You see Corbin Collins, he's making a move on Dimitri Mundris for 3rd. Ethan Workman has checked out to a nice lead, a 2nd gap over Jason Marshall and Dimitri Mundris. James Usa is going to come down pit lane, likely to fix that front bumper damage on that 42. As Aiden Smith just had a big moment coming off the turn 4, got very sideways. Now Sawinski and Roldan to his outside, going to be making the pass.
Roldan up here in the 99 up to 7th place, chasing Brad Sawinski for 6th. As we got a 3-horse race yet again. Moondris, Marshall, and Collins. That is a pass for the championship right now. Collins takes it from Marshall.
Yeah, it looks like that 3's tires are kind of falling off right now. As Corbin Collins up into the wall. Very tight for that 71.
Trying to run the high side, just didn't work out behind the 14.
You see Marshall way up the racetrack trying to get that outside lane to work. Corbin Collins has a nice run on Dimitri, but not going to be able to make the move. Side by side for 2nd. That's helping Ethan Workman pull away. It's now about a 2.5 seconds. Marshall now with the run on the 71. As Collins is just trying to look for a way around this 14 right now. That 9 of Connor Trifari losing time, which is weird because he's usually one of our better drivers at saving tires, but he's very loose coming out of turn 4. And I'm currently struggling, looks like, with a loose race car. Collins trying to do a little crossover coming out of the corner. He's going to look high on Dimitri. trying to take that second spot away.
Meanwhile, through all of this, pit stops maybe starting as Ryan Barone comes to pit lane now. Collins and Moon just battling for second. Collins working the outside lane, so hey, the outside lane is going to build in now. As he gets pie, Mooners on the top side. Marshall going to try to follow suit.
If I was Larry Miles, I would probably pit right now.
Oh, Collins! Oh, well, it might be too late for him to do so because Connor Trafari is sliding onto pit road right now. So he'd be pitting with the 9 if he comes, but it looks like he's going to stay out another lap as Marshall and Collins looking to battle for what would be second place. It would be the championship between these two where they battle.
Now, I did not expect for this long run these drivers would be getting loose with these worn tires, but here we are. Coming out of turn 4 has been almost a death trap for some of these guys.
Dimitri Mooters coming to pit lane this time in the 14. He foregoes 4th place to take his first stop of the night.
It looks like Collins is going to pit this time. Marshall looks like he's
is
coming to go. Oh, look at Roldan. He's going to hit the inside wall and spin around.
Aiden Smith has to check up because of it.
He's going backwards on pit lane.
Well, hey, he's going to find his way to his pit stall if he can. You got Ryan Kame as well on pit lane right there in the number 31. Ethan Workman, Corbin Collins stayed out. Workman now coming this time. The 03 race leader is now on pit lane. Collins following suit as Brad Sawinski will stay out, as does Oscar Enriquez. Praven Richard does. Larry Miles coming this time.
So it's going to be all 4 of your championship contenders coming in as Connor Trafari's on the front stretch. Where is that 3 of Jason Marshall? He's coming out of pit lane. So Trafari's going to undercut him.
Him and Mooters both get by Jason Marshall for now, but just barely. As Marshall will pull back on track just ahead of Ryan Barone, who started the pit cycles. Now Sawinski, Richard, and Enriquez all come to pit lane. Workman's coming off of pit lane right now. As he does so, Trafari coming down the front stretch is very much going to have a big gap over what was the former race leader, Ethan Workman. There he is on the inside. We'll see if he gets passed by any of the other drivers. There's Barone going by. Jason Marshall closing up on him. Might get by him. Marshall does clear for now. The battle is for the lead. Changes hands. What'll cycle through his race lead. Dimitri Mooners takes it from Connor Trafari. They'll cross our finish line. They'll pass everybody that's on pit lane now. So Dimitri Mooters is your race leader over Connor Trafari. Ryan Byrne, there's Declan George in the wall up top, out of harm's way. And now diving to the bottom to get out of harm's way. Looks like no penalties out of that set of pit stops that I can tell. Everybody got on pit road clean. Everybody got off pit road clean.
And all these drivers are going to look at that if this goes long run for another green flag pit stop. The undercut is huge. I mean, Ryan Barone was the first one to pit. He was outside the top 10 and now up here in 3rd.
And it's really not much older tires. You know, you would think with something like that it's going to be, oh, he's 20 laps since he pit, 6 laps since he came out of pit lane compared to the rest of the field. So definitely a huge benefit to take the undercut for these drivers, and we'll see if they play that card here tonight. But either way, we're going to get by Jason Marshall for 4th. Now he's still got 3 more cars between him and the race lead once more.
Yeah, good roll to making another stop. Don't know if it's for speeding, a speeding penalty, but his nose is dented in, so he's probably just repairing that so he doesn't blow up.
And likely, there was no speeding penalty from him, it looked like, so likely just the damage on the front end of that 99, just not letting him control that car.
Comes Workman for 3rd, passing Ryan Barone. So they are closing in on Connor Trafari. I don't know if he pitted a lap earlier than Jason Marshall and 2 laps earlier than Ethan Workman, so it could just be saving his stuff, but I don't think those 2 laps would affect him right now.
Barones Marshall to his inside. And Workman working on Trafari now. Oh, he's going to get the wall. Trafari hangs on to second for now. Workman right to the back bumper again. Back to the inside. Goes the 0-3 as Mooners has a 2.3 second lead.
Now Jason Marshall, he's going to try to close in on Connor Trafari here. This will be for the championship lead. The 2 leaders have pretty much checked out. Dimitri Boudris and Ethan Workman, they are both way ahead of these guys. But all that matters for these 2 is this position right here.
Yeah, the race win will be big for whoever can get it, but the big story is going to be the battle between these drivers for this championship. Jason Marshall still right on the back bumper, still in pursuit of Connor Trafari, and they are way ahead of Corbin Collins, who's about another 2 seconds back of this battle after the pit cycle.
All of that, Larry Miles only gained 1 spot up to 10th now for that 30. Really feel like he's going to need something drastic to change here in the second half of the race if he wants to contend for this championship.
I think his biggest hope is going to be maybe a late caution to help him get where he needs to go. If not that, it might have to come at the hands of, a wacky pit strategy call, whether he stays out long or whether he pits short. And pits early in this race, this final half of the race, if it goes green at the end. It's going to just really come down to what decision he makes to try and put himself in the position to win, because if he just goes with what he's doing, it's not going to work. I mean, he's up to 9th, but his competition is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So he's really going to have to get up there and put the hammer down. The battle is on for 3rd. Marshall to the inside of Trafari, going to send it in there through 3 and 4. Trafari going to try to get back to the back bumper and cross him over. Can't quite get there yet. But Marshall ahead of Trafari.
So put that 3 back in the championship lead. Ethan Workman, he is slowly gaining on Dimitri Boudris. We'll have a battle for the lead here in just a moment.
Yeah, about 3/10.
Jason Marshall. Yeah, Jason Marshall's pulling away from that 9.
Yeah, it was 3/10 faster for Workman last time by than Dimitri Boudris. And that's only on 2-lap-old tires, and that's the difference we're seeing right now. Marshall has got a 2/10 gap on the lap time to Connor Trafari. Corbin Collins was faster than those 2 ahead of him, but he's still got a gap to gain, a 1.6 second gap to catch Trafari and then Marshall. So he's got a ways to go. Larry Miles, we mentioned, is in 9th place right now of your championship 4. So keeping tabs on that as Moonder's sliding up. Here comes Workman to the inside to go back to the race lead. Workman will make that pass with ease. In the bottom lane, he'll get by and clear back for the race lead over Dimitri Boudris.
Yeah. Next season, if Ethan Workman does actually make all the starts and shows up, I feel like he's going to be one of the championship favorites. This guy comes in here week in and week out. Every time he shows up, he's always up front here running. course, picked up that big win after a long time last week at Nashville and looking to go back-to-back to end the season here.
Yeah, it would be a good way to end the season on a high note. After a lot of races, he felt like slipped out of his hands throughout the season that he's running. You know, getting the win last week in Nashville, then getting a win tonight here at Vegas to go back-to-back to end it. You know, and the way this season has gone, I'm sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but just, you know, we look through the past seasons that have ran here in the, you know, Motorstardom Cup Series. You know, there's been a lot of just different winners throughout the different seasons, but this season has really felt like just a tale of, like, 4 drivers. The diversity in winners really hasn't been as much as we've seen in recent seasons, so that could likely be the case again tonight.
Yeah, and all the play tracks we've had this season were won by just random people. Of course, Hyder and Corbin Collins, they really took up most of the board. Same for Connor Trafari there at the end. We only had a few one-time winners this season and a lot of multiple-time winners as well. So it's definitely been a pretty consistent year of winners. But Hyder, now that he's gone, I feel like a lot of these drivers are starting to get up here and compete for these wins now.
There are 18 different winners in season number 1. Only 2 drivers won multiple races in that season, Austin Dorn and Dylan Bassett. You go to season 2, you know, they had 2 3-time winners, 2 2-time winners, and a plethora of 1-time winners. 12 different winners in total. You go to season 3, you had Hyder and Dorn win 3 races, Collier and McKinney won 2. And there was 14 winners that season. Back in season number 4, you had the first big breakout year for Alexander Hyder with 6 wins. Ethan Fonseca Moreno picked up 4. Aiden Walker had 3. Corbin Collins had his 2. And then you had 11 winners in total. And then you come in here to season number 5 in the iRacing side. Again, it was Hyder with 6 wins. Collins had 4. Trafari with his 3. Moonders had his 2. And then there were 6 other winners. So Workman looking to become, you know, a 2-time winner this season. It'd be the first time that we had 10 or less winners in a season. Of course, 11 was the low last season. So this season will be a new low if we hit Workman or Moondress or Marshall or Trafari or Collins, any of the top 5. They've all won this season.
Yeah, your first driver who doesn't have a win this season is Brandon Richard, but how about him? Started 22nd, up here in 6th. So a very fast 09 machine.
Just up ahead of him, though, the battle is for 4th. Connor Trafari has a spot. Corbin Collins, he wants it.
Collins has about a 3-lap difference on tires, which doesn't seem like a lot, but judging by how this 9 car is slipping away from Jason Marshall, who has 2-lap fresher tires than Connor Trafari, it seems like it is a lot out there on the racetrack. Ooh. Here comes Corbin Collins underneath. Trafari got very loose coming out of turn 4. Collins going to have to get around him pretty quickly if he wants to go up there and battle with Jason Marshall. But Marshall's is getting hounded by Diego Roldan right now. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact between 9 and 71.
That's a loud 4-car right there trying to go by. Brendan Thomas. He is currently a lap down. Chase Gibbons looks like is currently on pit lane and likely out of this race. He got a meatball, I believe, at one point in this race, so he is going to be out of it. We got a 3-horse race back here for 7th. Ryan Barone's got it. Enriquez and Sawinski are on the hunt for this position. Both these drivers, all 3 of these drivers, are looking to end on a high note for this season. Enriquez will go to the inside.
Of course, Barone was the first driver to pit, so he's kind of falling back on those older tires.
Yeah, coming up with the 40 laps to go this next time by. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out for our drivers when they decide to pit, when they decide to bite that bullet and finally split this race in that third to make what should be their final stop of the race. Now, Corbin Collins has passed Connor Trafari. He is currently faster than Jason Marshall right now. So Jason Marshall sits in third, just barely ahead of Corbin Collins, and with what still is one more pit stop remaining for these drivers, will it be under green flag? Will it be under caution? It's yet to be seen. But as it stands right now, Jason Marshall and Corbin Collins looks to be the battle for the championship if Trafari cannot keep up with that 71 machine.
Yeah, and Corbin Collins is getting a lot of help right now. That 99 stayed side by side with Jason Marshall for the last 3 or 4 laps, and looking to get back underneath him, try to get around him.
Diego Roldan currently 3 laps down, wants to get one of his laps back. So he's trying to fight like crazy with the leaders to get by them if he can, but it's just not working. So he has ended up just stuck in line behind the 3 now, which is going to help Corbin Collins pulling up to this battle. And that's also going to help Trafari, too, to kind of keep pace with that 71.
Yeah, Trafari trying to find another line, trying to work that outside that you see Brandon Thomas on those fresher tires goes by.
Yeah, and right now these drivers have been out there for almost 30 laps, some of them at 30 laps. So maybe coming up to their last pit stop of the night here in the next 2 or 3 laps. We'll see maybe who takes the undercut idea, who takes the overcut, but probably the biggest winner was Dimitri Mundris, where he was able to get in terms of track position, getting ahead of Marshall and Collins and clearing for second. But it's going to be a risky decision for this 3 and this 71 and this 9, and maybe even the 30 on when to make your final stop of this race.
Yeah, that was interesting. Diego Roldan let that 71 by when he caught him. And now Corbin Collins is right here on Jason Marshall.
Yeah, and it's going to be a battle. Marshall is going to fight to hold that car off.
So both of them letting Brandon Thomas by on that inside with those fresher tires. Everyone has a nice run. He's going to look low underneath Jason Marshall, trying to make that move stick on the inside.
Collins trying to get to the inside of Marshall. Marshall deflecting low, now going to pull high. Collins is trying anything he can to get by. So Barone is on pit road now, so pit cycle is underway. Oscar Enriquez pits as well, so he is now going to take his turn on pitting. As you see Marshall on the bottom, Collins on the outside. Does Marshall come to pit lane this time, maybe? No. Collins tries to get the run on the outside. Marshall thought about squeezing him, doesn't do it. Trafari loose in the background at the line at time, side by side. Collins going to eke out ahead of Marshall for what is 3rd in the race, but 1st in the championship.
It's going to be interesting to see what Corbin Collins does here if he goes a little bit further than these guys once again. He's got to lose track position, but now with the lead, we'll see what he does if he pits early or goes late again.
Marshall slipping up off the corner. He might be going to pit lane. Indeed he is, and Jafari's coming with him.
Moondress down as well.
Watching Larry Miles in the 30. He's going to stay out for now. Workman has stayed out. He's still on the racetrack. Coming to lap number 70, 31 laps to go. Workman, the dominant car all night tonight. Looks like he's going to stay out for another go-around before coming to pit lane for his final stop of this race. Jafari and Marshall in their stalls. Jafari looks to be having a faster stop, or at the very least a better stop than the 3.
Yeah, Marshall missed his stop, way overdrove his pit box.
Yeah,
coming on the pit lane.
39.4 on the pit lane for Connor Jafari, 43.7 for Jason Marshall. That could be a championship run ender for that 3 machine. Ethan Workman continues to lead, staying out. Corbin Collins is second. Does he pit this time? Yes, he does. Here comes the 71. He is in control of this championship race. He's going to get down to pit lane speed. We'll continue to watch Larry Miles and see what he does. He looks like he's coming to pit road as well. So Larry Miles in this time for his final stop perhaps of this race. Barring any kind of caution, maybe drawing drivers back down later in the race. This could be the money stop. Ethan Workman, the race leader, dominant car tonight from the pole. He's going to pull off the pit lane now. Praven Richard will cycle through as a leader if he stays out, which he does not. Brad Sawinski, however, will stay out for the extra lap, take the extra lap lead point, and continue marching on. Looking at our drivers as they have cycled out through the pit stops. Dimitri Moonders well out ahead of Connor Trafari, who is well ahead of Ryan Barone, who's got Jason Marshall right behind him.
Yeah, Jafari's going to be way out ahead of Corbin Collins, so it's just going to be a chase down now for this 71 and 3. Collins is going to lose the position to Barone and maybe Jason Marshall as well.
So Sawinski and Enriquez have yet to pit as Richard is rolling off. Samito is still on pit lane as well. So these top 2 drivers, Sawinski and Enriquez, have yet to pit. They likely are going to try to stretch it as long as they can and just hope and pray that a caution flag can fly here in the next few laps to get them enough to make it to pit lane. Actually, Enriquez coming now, so Sawinski might be coming this next time by. When he does do that, Dimitri Moonders will assume the race lead over Connor Trafari by 1.6 seconds. Ethan Workman 1.2 back of that. Then it's Ryan Barone, Jason Marshall, and Corbin Collins all nice and tight together. As there goes Sawinski down to pit lane. So can Workman get up to Dimitri Moonders, or will this 14 take home his 3rd win this season and go off with a high note as he slides through turn 2? But the big note as well, Connor Trafari is second, well out ahead of Corbin Collins and Jason Marshall. Collins has got about 26 laps next time by to chase down the 9 of Connor Trafari to battle him for the championship.
And he caught him once on the same strategy. We'll see if he catches this 9 of Connor Trafari again.
Collins is in 4th. He is 2.2 seconds back of Workman. Makes him about 2.6 seconds back of Connor Trafari. As Workman is catching this 9 car. Ooh, Brandon Thomas hitting the outside wall. He's going to slide. Almost caught the 03.
Oh my gosh.
But he's able to keep it down on the inside lane up against the wall to keep it from spinning out. Kudos to that 4 car. Brandon Thomas almost wiped out the 03 trying to get out of their way. And then he also almost wipes himself out, but he keeps it pointing in the right direction, and he's able to get off of the track out of harm's way. Ethan Workman takes second from Connor Trafari, so now the gap is set. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll pull that up so we can monitor it here the rest of this run. 24 laps to go when they hit the stripe this time. That battle is for third, but more importantly, this battle is going to be for the championship. 2 seconds is the gap, and you can see the difference in time, 3/10 faster for Corbin Collins.
And that was a smart move by Connor Jafari, just letting the faster car of Ethan Workman by, so hopefully you don't waste your tires and battle to get closer to that 71. It's definitely going to be a game of defense for this 9 car.
You can see that 9 car. Connor Jafari just up ahead. He's right there. That dot right there kind of signifies where Trafari is. Down on the apron, and he get loose in turn 2 and bobble.
Leaders right now into some lap traffic. That's TJ Lear and James Usa. Ethan Workman closing in on this 14 once again for the race lead. So you see Oscar Enriquez on the outside of that 9. He's way faster. A little bit of contact between both of them.
1.6 seconds is the gap.
If they get to battling, that might allow a Jason Marshall to also close in on this pack. He's on the same tire strategy as Connor Trafari, but had a really long pit stop, so that's why he's far back there now.
James Usa in the 42. Gonna get out of the way as much as he can for these leaders. Let them go and not put up a fight. Meanwhile, the battle.
Yeah, he just retook the race lead, coming to 20 laps to go.
20 laps left in season number 16 of the XASCAR Motorstardom Cup Series. It's the 5th season here on iRacing for these drivers. And if I'm not mistaken reading things, which I very well could be, obviously, I do believe this would be a new champion no matter who. We have not had... we have all 4 of our championship 4 have never won the title, so the goal is to try to win it tonight. Jafari is trying to hang on to a 1.3 second gap he has over Corbin Collins, who is trying to chase down that number 9. Of course, last season was very much looking like he could contend for the championship with Alexander Hyder, but he could not make a full season schedule last season, so he ended up having to miss the playoffs entirely. This season, though, he has been on a mission, and he's 1.2 seconds back of that 9 car for that title. Jason Marshall has fallen off. 5th place right now. He is about 2.3 seconds back of Corbin Collins, so he's going to need a late race yellow to get into this. But even further back in 11th place is Larry Miles, another one of our championship 4 contenders. He is 11th place. He is going to need a miracle to get back in this fight.
Yeah, and I'm trying my best not to talk about yellows.
Well, the wall's yellow, so you can talk about the wall being yellow, but yeah, that's the big factor so far is we have been green for 83 laps complete now, which means we'll have a caution soon. Don't worry. So Ethan Workman has got control of this race. He has gotten clear of Mooners out by a second now, and looks like he is running away with it. So barring any late race caution, which is not a guarantee here, obviously. We've seen plenty of races come down to it where you have a late yellow. Ethan Workman looking for his 2nd win, looking for a dominant, emphatic win here tonight at Vegas. And there we go!
There it is.
Just as soon as you talk, there it is. It's Praven Richard around on the backstretch. And just like that, this entire race has been turned over on its head. And we are going to have a restart. We made it 84 laps before we got our first yellow flag of the night. Take a look back and see what happened. Praven Richard was trying to catch Ryan Barone. This would have been a battle for the 6th place spot. That's the 99, and Diego rolled in a lap down car. Gets into the 09 and then slides back up the track and gets into him.
That's just a car 3 laps down, racing some lead lap cars there. I'm not so sure of that.
Well, Diego Roldan has left the session. Not sure if it was voluntarily or not, but so is Praven Richard. But the big shakeup here is going to be pit stops. Everybody comes down pit lane. Everybody's going to take tires with 15 to go after they hit the stripe. Ryan Barone is sideways in his pit stall. I don't think anybody tries any strategy calls here. Nobody tries 2 tires, I don't think. You can't take 3 tires in iRacing. Jason Marshall right there, third. Connor Trafari second in pit lane. But Ethan Workman going to win the race off pit road. Corbin Collins is going to launch and beat both Moonders and Trafari off of pit lane. Corbin Collins takes the championship lead off the pit lane. Trafari, Marshall, Barone, Walker, Larry Miles gets out 15th, but the bigger story is while Workman won the race off pit road, he is going to be scored 6th because we had 5 drivers elect to stay out under this caution. Brad Sawinski in the 28, Quentin Haley in the 13, Jason Semino in the 94, Ryan Kame in the 31, and Oscar Enriquez in the 96 all stayed out on this restart. That is going to really shake up this field, and it's going to completely shake up this restart.
Yeah, and you talked about it. Corbin Collins, one of the fastest pit crews in this session, and he gets out in front of everybody except for Ethan Workman. But getting around these cars who stayed out is going to be a big challenge.
So Quentin Haley, Jason Semino, Ryan Kame come down pit road this time. So that leaves just 2 cars ahead of the field on tires, and they both choose different rows. Sawinski on the inside, Enriquez on the outside. You see Workman choosing the bottom. Collins goes top of row 2. Moonders bottom of row 3. Then Trafari up top. Marshall will go low. We'll see what happens with the rest of the field as they continue to cycle up here. That'll move the 30 of Larry Miles. He's actually 17th right now. He is still back in the back. Not sure. A long stop on pit road. Maybe getting some damage repaired? Unsure, but
Yeah,
even
looks
then,
like damage repair for that 30.
top 2 drivers on older tires. You mentioned the time on pit lane. He was a full second faster on the lane than Connor Trafari and Dimitri Mundris. Ryan Barone about the same time. Workman was just slightly slower than that 71, but still able to get off because of that first stall. They had identical pit box times, but on the pit lane, Corbin Collins was fastest of them all. A 39 flat on pit lane got him out and got him ahead of everybody else. Looks like everybody that came down pit lane that last time by, Ryan Kame, I think, took fuel only. Semito and Haley took tires. We'll see what happens. It is 13 laps to go. Sawinski and Enriquez on older tires. The field on new tires. Getting ready to go back green for what could be the final restart of season number 16. Green flag back in the air. Racing in Vegas.
Workman already looking low. 3 wide.
Oh!
Sawinski! He's going to turn him up into the pack.
Sawinski, Matthew Logan's involved. Somehow, someway, everybody else scrapes by. And another caution brings us another restart quickly here at Las Vegas. Sawinski tried to block down to the inside lane. And with that block, he gets turned head on into the outside wall. And somehow, someway, it only collects the 41 of Matthew Logan.
Luckily, didn't collect any of our championship guys. Matthew Logan took a big hit there. Everybody else somehow avoided it.
Right on board with Jason Marshall. See what he saw. Cockpit of that the roof of that number 3 car. You'll see Workman spin on the inside here. Able to miss it all, no sweat. And we'll ride with Larry Miles, who was further back in the field, and see how he saw the action. But the biggest thing of all of this, the dominant car of the race, Ethan Workman, he's going to get taken out with just 13 laps to go. he's not going to win this race.
I wouldn't say that yet. I think iRacing has kept him up into third. But I don't know how that damage is on the 03.
We'll see. We'll see, but I think it's a big blow to him, though, that Moonders has scored ahead of him. And he's going to be stuck with Trafari and Collins. Everybody's going to be around this 03. I think that's the biggest blow he's got. So Larry Miles is back on pit road, back getting damage repaired maybe on that 30 car. So that could explain why he has been stuck out back and not able to move forward here tonight.
I do notice some scrapes on that right side, so he might have hit the wall at some point this race. Oscar Enriquez is now the lone driver on old tires out front. Moondris gonna go high. Oscar goes low. That's gonna allow Ethan Workman to get behind first place again. Jafari up high, Collins down low. It's Marshall down low, Barone up high. Blake Walker's up here as well.
Well, at last restart, Workman tried to get below the leader that was on older tires and ended up spinning him across the track. Because the leader blocked. I don't know if Enriquez will be that aggressive in blocking, but we'll see. But you can see how they line up. You see Moonders in the outside lane just looking for the win. Same with Ethan Workman. But Trafari, Collins, and Marshall all right there are championship 4 contenders. Larry Miles way back in 16th after getting some damage repaired. He is out on track and back catching up to the field. But the battle is going to be between the 9, the 71, and the 3, barring any issues on these restarts.
It's going to be the final restart of the night and the season. Got to be restarting with 9 laps to go.
9 laps left in Season 16. Checkered flag and a trophy on the line. And a championship to etch your name in the history books lies in wait for one of these 4 drivers. Who will get up there and take the pen to mark their name in the history books? Pace truck is off. 9 laps to go. Enriquez, Moonders, the front row. They'll hit the restart zone and put us back under the green flag. Not a good launch on the outside by Moonders.
Yeah, that's going to help. Corbin Collins got underneath Connor Trafari as Enriquez has a nice lead. Trafari tried to look 3 wide underneath the 14, couldn't quite get there.
Collins has got the advantage right now on the inside over Connor Trafari. Jason Marshall right there lurking in the background as they're side by side for second. Workman trying to get up to Oscar Enriquez to go back to the race lead.
Oh, Oscar, big bobble coming off of turn number 4. That's going to allow all these leaders to pass him.
As he'll drop back, Workman in the lead. Moonders not quite done with it yet. He's still right there with them. Trafari and Collins sliding as they head into turn 1.
Jason Marshall caught the wall entering the corner. Oh, Collins very loose coming out of the corner.
Marshall trying to make a run down the back straightaway towards Corbin Collins, but Connor Trafari is out ahead of him. Dimitri Moonders on the inside of Ethan Workman trying to take the race lead away.
Trafari's going to have a big run. Where's that 9 going to go? He's going to hang tough behind the 14. Now look to his outside.
Oh, Moonders trying to block him. Trafari on the outside of the 14 for second, who's trying to get by the 03 of Ethan Workman for the race lead. Corbin Collins is in 4th, trying to reel back in this 9 car, and he's got Jason Marshall hot on his trails.
Trafari up to the outside of Dimitri Moonders. Collins trying to work that outside, but it doesn't really work on the short run here.
Oh, contact! There they go! Connor Trafari goes around, back down the track, scattering, and that's going to be Trafari's race! Brandon Thomas hits him 2 up and over. Oscar Enriquez involved.
Big hits by that 9.
And Connor Trafari's championship hopes are dashed here tonight at Las Vegas. Trafari hits on 20 and goes for broke. He's blown up. He's done. Take a look at your BRN replay. Show you what happened. The battle between Trafari and Moondris is for second here, coming off at the corner. Battling it out for positions, trying to catch Ethan Workman for the race lead. Trafari gets the wall. Moondris also slides up too. They make contact, and right here, Enriquez just tries to miss, nowhere to go. Brandon Thomas as well. Thought that 9 was going to come down the track. Instead, he stayed put. But just like that, one of the championship 4 gets taken out in the late goings of this race. Connor Trafari, whose luck runs out.
Very disappointing end for this 9 team.
Currently sitting right here at the entrance to pit road. Guessing the car blew up and he is just stuck sitting there as the field coming around through 3 and 4.
And he's kind of on the racetrack. They're going to have to probably disqualify him, and he's just going to tow it to the garage. Coming to the choose cone.
So we'll
Workman.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Workman down low, Collins up high.
Yeah, so we're going to restart here with 3 laps to go. No, not into overtime situation just quite yet. Ethan Workman, you mentioned the race leader, dominant car all night, just looking to go ahead and snag his 2nd win of the season, 2 in a row to close it out. Corbin Collins on the outside looking for the championship. He's got Jason Marshall lining up 2nd on the inside line, just behind our race leader, Ethan Workman. Larry Miles is way back in 13th, so it would need a bit more chaos for these playoff drivers to get Larry Miles back in the picture, I think. But with what we just saw, Marshall may get really dicey racing with Collins for the championship. So Larry's not out of it yet, but I'm not going to hold my breath and say that he's got a good chance to win it. But hey, we saw crazier things happen before, so we'll see if it happens again. 3 laps left in season number 16, race number 22, the finale here at Las Vegas.
We've seen that 3-car make some egregious moves for the race win. What is he going to do for the championship here?
Race car's off. 3 to go here at Vegas. The green flag's going to fly, and we're racing once more here in Sin City. A great launch by Jason Marshall. Gets him clear, Corbin Collins.
A really bad restart by that 71. He's all over the back bumper of the 3 of Jason Marshall, trying to get him loose into turn 1 and 2.
Marshall has the advantage for the championship. Workman in lead. He is well out in front. Here comes Ryan Barone trying to go for 3rd.
Barone battling with the 71. That's going to help the 3 of Jason Marshall stay in front of that 71 for now. Blake Walker very loose off the corner. He holds on to it.
2 laps to go. Workman just wants to get to that white flag to go ahead and end this race as the 88 is still sliding all over the place. He might be spinning. He is spinning. Caution's out again. Sawinski caught the wall to avoid it, but Blake Walker spins out, destroys the front end of that car, and we're going to overtime. We went 83 laps without a caution. And now we have had, I think, now our 3rd in just a short stretch here.
He was trying to hold on to that thing the whole front straightaway and finally lost it entering turn 1. Declan George somehow avoided it.
He fought to keep his foot in it and save it, and just Didn't work out. His temper's definitely flaring in this one late. Last race of the season, championship battles, and some hurt feelings and some upset drivers at the way things have played out at the end of this race. But we'll see what happens at the end of this in overtime. Workman just trying to hang on and win this race, and he has dominated so far. He's led the most laps tonight, looking to go ahead and just close it out and end the season on back-to-back wins. Jason Marshall wouldn't mind getting his second career win at the perfect time to get himself his first career championship. Got Corbin Collins right now third behind Marshall. See what the choose leads for these drivers. You got Ryan Barone in fourth and Aiden Smith right now in fifth. Quentin Haley up there in sixth. Jeff Acevedo finds himself in seventh place. Then it's Jason Semito in eighth. Ryan Kame is ninth. TJ Lair is 10th. And hey, remember when we talked about James Yusa? About how he always finds himself up near the front at the end of these races? Well, he's 11th right now. Despite that front-end damage, Larry Miles, our final championship 4 contender still running, is currently in 12th. It's still a long shot for this 30 car, but with overtime, he's got a better shot at it.
This is going to be interesting. We saw the restart Corbin Collins got last time, which helped Jason Marshall pass him. Marshall's going to go low. Collins is going to take that front row again.
Marshall deciding to stick it out again. Try out, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So he'll line up behind Ethan Workman once more. Corbin Collins goes to the top side to try another restart on the outside and get a better jump if he can. Larry Miles will be further back in this field. He'll go to the outside. Currently scored in 12th place is the 30 of Larry Miles. For him to have a shot at this, I think he's going to need this 3 and this 71 to make some contact before this race is over.
Well, we'll see if they can make it back to the white. Once the white flag comes out, it's official. They just got to make it one more lap around until we see the checkered flag. It's going to be Ethan Workman, Corbin Collins, Jason Marshall, Ryan Barone, and how about Aiden Walker up here in this top 5?
All Workman has to do pretty much is get off turn 4. Once the white flag is raised, it will be official. But he's
Actually, Aiden Smith. Sorry.
Yeah, Aiden Smith running in 5th. But Workman just got to hold off these 2 championship drivers trying to win the title here in season number 16, season 5 for the iRacing side of things. We'll see what happens. Overtime in Vegas. The green flag flies. We're racing for some extra laps here at Las Vegas. Marshall again with a good launch. Dooring with Corbin Collins. Dooring again. They door again. More contact. And they're going to walk the track.
Corbin Collins way up the racetrack. Ryan Barone and Aiden Smith going to get around.
Collins almost got turned again there.
Falling back in that 71.
Marshall trying to keep hold of this position. Collins is still struggling, still sliding.
They just got to make it back to the white. Oh, he gets hit by TJ Lear. There goes Jeff Acevedo around, but they hit the white flag.
White flag is out. Acevedo spinning on the apron. Ethan Workman going for the win here. They're wrecking again. Quentin Haley, Ryan Kame. Larry Miles going to pile into it. Out in front. Ethan Workman going to go back-to-back to close out the season. He'll win his 2nd straight race. Wrecking in the back is Aiden Smith. Then he tried to get to Jason Marshall, but it doesn't matter. Workman will win the race. Jason Marshall is your Season 5 champion. they're going to turn him around here. And I think Collins came up and gave some payback to that 3-car for how he was raced. Nobody going to be happy after this one, except maybe 2 drivers.
And I'm not so sure if Corbin Collins, he was the one who started that door slamming contest between him and the 3. And then Aiden Smith shoved the 3 up into the 71.
So as Workman burns it down, on the front stretch, I believe at the same time right now, if we go across the track, we can check and see if he is as well. I think he is indeed burning it down. There's your Season 5 champion, Jason Marshall. With a 3rd place finish tonight, it's enough to take home the championship trophy. So let's take a look at everything that just transpired at the end of this race. The overtime restart, the contact with Corbin Collins that led to a championship victory for Jason Marshall. Just contact there, Corbin Collins, door slam the 3. Trying to get there in side draft, and they just make a bunch of contact, but right there, the hit to Collins from Marshall sends him up the track, just gets him all out of shape. More cars get to his inside, and he's got no chance of hanging on to it. Right there, Aiden Smith trying to get on the door of the 3. Acevedo spins in the background here. Corbin Collins just could not hang on to it at the end. He gets around this wreck here between Haley Kame and Larry Miles. He just gets piled into it. Right here you'll see Marshall into 3 and 4. There's Aiden Smith charging the corner, trying to get to that 3-car. I think maybe payback from one of his teammates. You can just see the hit that Aiden Smith takes. Declan George will pile in too. But Ethan Workman takes home the checkered flag here tonight from Las Vegas. It is the 03 with the win. The 3 wins the championship. Sandwiched in between that is a 2nd place run for Ryan Barone. And hey, James Usa comes home from that race in 4th. What a great way for him to end his season. How about TJ Lair as well, coming home 5th in tonight's run. Jason Samito finishes 6th. Corbin Collins will come up short of a championship in 7th. Larry Miles will finish tonight's race in 8th. Quentin Haley 9th. And Ryan Kame rounds out your top 10.
I'm having 2 drivers scored in P11, so I'm just going to go off the scoring. Jeff Acevedo is 11th. Aiden Smith, 12th. Bradley Swinski, 13th. Blake Walker, 14th. Connor Jafari getting taken out late there. He finishes 15th. Oscar Enriquez, 16th. Dimitri Mutris, 17th. Matthew Logan, 18th. Braven Richard, 19th. And Diego Roland rounds out your top 20.
And the rest of your field was 21st place. Brandon Thomas, Declan George is scored 22nd, and Chase Gibbons is scored in 23rd in this race here tonight. So we'll have to get a hold of our changing it up a bit. I think we'll go. Well, you know what? It's the last race of the season, and he asked nicely, so we'll do the top 4. Ryan, what do you say you dial up James Usa?
I'll have to get him in here first, but we'll see if we can. Hey, James, it's the boys up the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yes, I do. What's up?
Well, your race looked like it was over pretty much from the beginning, but you fought hard all race long and somehow managed to finish top 5 here after all that chaos. How do you feel about your good run to end the season?
I feel great to be honest. I got that damage early in the back of Gibbons, and I was on the verge of blowing up for 40 laps, and I was just running half throttle, running around. But I'm in awe. I finished fourth. I can't believe it. Just fantastic way to end the season. I started off finishing third, talking to you guys. And I know you guys usually interview top three, but I appreciate you guys interviewing me for fourth. So I was happy to start the year off with interview, finishing top three, and ending the year off with a interview top four.
Well, James, of course, you had a pretty good season. Did not find victory lane, but you're only about 5 spots short from making it to this race in the championship for. So, a great season for you. And just how did your season go from all 22 races?
Good question. The regular season was kind of garbage throughout the whole year. I snuck my way into the playoffs to be fair, from just racing every race. But when the playoffs happened, I had a pretty okay first round, and I feel Rockingham is where it hurts. I was running top 10 and ended up being wrecked. So I felt like if the Rockingham incident didn't happen, I definitely would have been maybe in contention in the final four. It all depends what would happen the race after Rockingham, but it's nice to be that close and nice to finish in top five yet again.
All right, well, James, you got any sponsors, teammate shout outs you want to give out tonight?
Shout ECE Racing, Target, go Target, you guys, XASCAR. I hope XASCAR does not die, like everyone says in the chat. Keep going, XASCAR. Keep going, Chase Gibbons. Yeah, Target, ECE Racing, and that's about it. You guys, of course, thank you for doing this, and I hope you guys see you guys next season as well. That's about it for me.
All right, well, James, congrats on your hard fought fourth place finish tonight. Of course, this was the season finale, so there's no race next week, but I hope to see you next season if there is one.
I hope so too. All right, have a good night, guys.
You too. We'll take it over to Dawson Allen, who's going to pick up whoever's interviewing next.
Well, we're going to do a special interview. It's the last race of the season, so I figured we'll expand our interviews a little bit, and we'll go for a couple more drivers, some people that we really don't get a chance to talk to a lot. So how about we pick up the driver of the 86, TJ Lair. TJ, it's a fifth place finish tonight to end the season on a high note. How are you feeling after that race?
I didn't expect myself to even be finishing top five tonight. It was a really tough race out there. The setup was just very loose. Tires got very hot. At some point after that first run, I looked at my tire info after that first pit stop, and those things were shot. It was it was one heck of a drive. Just very happy to be able to somehow sneak in there and get a top five after running kind of mid pack all day. So big surprise, and I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to finish the season on a high note. How does that feel, getting ready to head into season 6 whenever we get to go and racing again?
Yeah, this has been a blast. I was so ecstatic to be able to join the Cup Series at Indy and make my first start there, and then just being able to come back for just about every race here on out. It was awesome being able to run up there and actually do pretty decent. I got a few top tens, I believe, and just had a whole lot of fun and really felt like I kind of belonged in the field with those Cup Series guys. So it was definitely a huge honor this season, and I really hope I'll get to go back Cup racing next season.
Well, we do hope to see you again next season in the Cup Series. But tonight, you get a fifth place run, top 5 run for the 86 teammates. Sponsors, shout outs. What gets it done for you, TJ?
Yeah, I'm just gotta thank all family, friends, anybody who tunes in, and watches, and supports the Instagram posts and everything that I do every week, and of course the school that I carry on the hood just about every week, Universal Technical Institute, kind of fueling my current dreams right now, and then all the other sponsors that we kind of have littered around the car here and there. Everybody who kind of just supports me and just makes me feel extra motivated to keep on doing what I'm doing and not give up, even when it gets tough.
Well, it's a fifth place run to end the season for TJ Lair. He comes out with a 7th top 10 this season, his second top 5 with fifth place run tonight. Congrats on the fifth place run, TJ.
Thank you.
And we will send it to Ryan, who I believe will be catching up with our second place finisher, that being Ryan Barone.
Hey, Ryan Barone, it's the boys at the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, pretty just kind of a calm race for you with all the chaos going on in the background, but you ultimately come up here and finish second place to end the season. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm very happy with second right now. I'm happy to not be involved in any of that shenanigans at the end. I mean, I saw everything from championship contenders dooring each other all the way on the restart to just blatant race manipulation by Aiden Smith at the end. I'm just happy to scoop by for second. I felt like I was running like a pretty good race. I tried to save my tires too much the first run, and then kind of undercut and shot up to like third, and then kind of fell back. So I felt like I was like a seventh place car all day. But so to finish second, I'm pretty happy. And for once this season, I don't end up on the bad end of restarts at the end.
And those green flag pit stops we had, the whole green flag run, we noticed you were the first one to pit every single time. You still held your own in the top 7 or 8. So just wanted to know, were you trying to undercut maybe the field, or we noticed drivers getting loose out there? So I was wondering if you just couldn't handle your car anymore.
You know, I felt like I had a good car. I saved my stuff pretty well. It's just I was getting raced really hard by Oscar Enriquez that first run, and I couldn't get by him. Like I was faster than him, but I just couldn't pass him because he was racing me really hard. I felt like annoyingly hard for ninth place at the time. So I pit a little. I got the call out from my crew chief that I had like 3 laps of gas. So I was in the middle of the backstretch and I wasn't able to get by him. So I said, what the heck? And I brought it down pit road that time. And then I kind of put myself in a box with fuel and made myself come down early every other time because I was fuel limited. So it all worked out in the end. But I just felt like I needed to get myself out of that box early.
All right, Barone, well, you got any sponsors, teammate shout outs you want to give out tonight?
Not really. Just a good way to end a rough week. My dad passed away last Tuesday on the 1st, so it's been a hard week for me, and it's good to see the Philadelphia Eagles car with the top 3 down the year.
All right, well, Larry, or you're not Larry, sorry, I just read Larry Miles' name. Ryan Barone, congrats on your second place finish tonight. Of course, this was the final race of the season, so we won't be seeing you next week, but I do hope to see you next season if we have
Sure,
one.
thank you guys.
All right, well, I'll hand it back over to Dawson Allen, who I believe will be picking up our winner of Ethan Workman.
We'll see if we can get him. For a sliver of a second, I doubted him winning this race after that incident with Brad Sawinski, but he powers through in the end anyways and takes home the checkered flag. Ethan Workman, a dominant run from you here tonight. First things first, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, man. I mean, I knew I was going to be competitive at Vegas, but I did not expect to dominate that race at all. Like, I did not expect to be that fastest car on the short and long run. I felt like, I mean, that whole race, even when that caution came out, I mean, I didn't mean to take out Brad, but we already discussed it. We're all cool, but overall, at least for me, I thought it was a good race. I managed the car well. Didn't feel too loose or too tight all day. I mean, I felt loose on a couple of instances, but I managed through it. But until those yellows came out, I was nervous when those yellows came out because I knew this is how the race was going to turn out. But I managed to get through that, managed to win, and I'm just glad I won the race. And I'm glad that my teammate Jason Marshall won the championship. So good on him. So, and I just got to feel there's been so much people talking about the controversy about this race. We've been seeing all the shit that's happened all season ended up here. So I'm not really surprised that that really happened to those drivers that are responsible. But overall, just glad our team got it done. and that's all I can say about that.
All right, well, focusing on your race, your win tonight, 75 laps led from the pole, taking home the checkered flag. Just how does it feel to have a run like that after winning last week, having back-to-back wins now since it's been that long stretch before you were able to find victory lane?
Man, I just feel like I've been on a hot streak as of late because 2 weeks in a row I won both GGR and the Cup race. But I like to thank GGR. Unfortunately, it's ending in XASCAR, but it's still continuing on. So, props to Ethan, at least putting on a good league. I thought that was the best race of the week, but overall, this race, um, I'm just surprised that we actually stayed green for once. That's all I can say about that as well. But after winning, like I said, after winning this race, I just feel like on a hot streak. But unfortunately, from what I've heard, the XASCAR season isn't starting until August. So I wanted to continue it on this season, but the season just ended. But I'll definitely tear it up next season. Just watch out for that 03 car winning that championship.
We look forward to seeing you compete for the championship next season, but focusing on tonight, the race win for you, 2 in a row. Teammates, sponsor, shout outs. What got that 03 machine wicked fast tonight?
Man, that 03 car was a rocket ship, but I like to thank all the league owners having me back. After my PC ate shit, I had to save up money for a couple of months to get a new one, and I'm pretty much back to where I was before. I'd like to thank Ancient World Gaming's partnership. Um, like to give a special shout out to Jason Marshall on winning the championship. Hope he has fun tonight. And I'd like to give a shout out to Bullshock Racing, my team, Motorstardom, and a special shout out to Chance Parker as well. Like I said, I know you're watching. Um, like I said, I hope to be back in the same position next season.
Well, we look forward to seeing it. That is your race winner tonight. Ethan Workman ends the season on a hot streak, back-to-back wins. Congrats on the win, Ethan.
Thanks, man.
And I will send it to Ryan Bogey, who will be catching up with our third place finisher and our champion, Jason Marshall.
Hey, Jason, it's the boys up the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, you fought between Corbin Collins and Connor Trafari all race long. Had that bad pit stop on your final green flag pit stop. That caution came out there at the end to help you get back up there in contention. And a little bit of controversy after that, but before we get into that, we'll talk about your actual championship. Finishing third tonight, but most importantly, picking up the championship here in season 5. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. It's great. Felt good about the car. This track, obviously one of my favorites. So coming in, I was kind of confident after our GGR championship last night. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot we got to get into. So I'd like to get in the goes questions.
Well, there at the end, you and Corbin Collins on that final restart had a bunch of contact from start finish line all the way into turns number 1. Go through that. Do you think you were at fault? Do you think he was at fault? Aiden Smith got a piece of that as well. Just go through it. What happened there?
Uh, I hate to say it for them, but I honestly don't think so. When the race was over, Corbin came on the mic and he was pissed off that me and Ethan were talking to each other about restarts, and I'm sure you guys saw that as well. And then we had that final restart, and he door jammed me, like coming to the line. I guess he didn't want to lose time, and from there, I was like, okay, the boxing gloves are on, and we went to work. So he hit me, I hit him, he hit me again, and I put him up the track. So I wanted to race him clean for it. Me and Corbin have raced each other clean all year, and he just decided in the finale he was going to do what he had to do. And once he showed me that, I played my cards. So I, they can say what they want. I know the 89 was pissed. He tried wrecking me on the white, and with 2 to go, he brake checked me going into 3. So I guess fall back to him. It's just a circus. So I don't know. Everyone has an opinion. But I feel like you you put me in a spot where you're gonna hit me. You can't be mad when it happens back to you. So that is my thoughts on that.
Well, looking back on your whole season, of course, it was a season of many first-time things, picking up your first career XASCAR Cup Series win at Talladega, and now here tonight, picking up your first ever championship here in the XASCAR Motorstardom Cup Series. So just through your whole season, how do you think it went? How do you think your car was, and how do you think you did?
I think we had a good season. I wouldn't say it was the season I kind of hoped for. I was hoping for a couple more wins. I feel like we put ourselves in positions all year long to win races. We look at Indy, obviously controversy there, and The Rock, obviously controversy there. So I mean, there was little moments that we could have done a better job at executing on this season. I feel like we could have knocked off a couple more wins, but overall, I'm happy with it. I mean, winning the championship at the end, I guess that solidifies it, right? It was a good year. But definitely, I think next year when it comes to whatever car we're running, I don't know if it's the new Gen 6 or not. Uh, hopefully, we could just be a little bit more consistent. And I guess we'll do what we always do every year. We chill until the chase, and then I'm the most hated person in XASCAR. It baffles me every year. It's the way it goes. But
All right, well, Jason, you got any sponsors, teammate shout outs you want to give out tonight?
of course, shout out to Motorstardom on the car tonight. RJ, if you're out there tonight watching, I hope I hope you're proud to see your sponsor win the championship. Obviously, Bowl Shock, the whole team, good execution tonight. My girlfriend, if she's watching, shout out to you. I love you. Woo! We won. And also shout out to all of Uprise Motorsports, that whole team, because they parked Diego behind me for 30 laps and we still won that shit. So that's all I gotta say. Jason Marshall, mic drop. We won. See y'all next year.
All right, well, Jason, congrats on your third place finish tonight. Most importantly, congrats on your first championship here in the Motorstardom Cup Series. And of course, no race next season, but no race next week. But I hope to see you next season where you can try to go back to back and win that championship as well.
Thank y'all, boys. Appreciate y'all as always.
And I'll hand the mic back over to Dawson Allen.
Thank you, Ryan. What an eventful season it's been here in the XASCAR Motorstardom Cup Series. Lots of trials and tribulations, lots of exciting finishes, lots of controversy. But at the end of it all, we crown a new champion. Jason Marshall takes the throne as your defending series champion over Corbin Collins, Larry Miles, and Connor Trafari. We had an 83 lap run of green flag racing all the way up until that one fateful caution comes out, and then all hell broke loose at the end of that. Ryan, what are your thoughts from this final race here in season 16?
Well, I thought it was gonna be pretty clean for the most part, and I knew as soon as we started talking about how long this green flag run was and how we haven't had a caution yet, I knew something was going to happen. That's why I didn't bring it up the whole time, and there it was with Diego Roldan and Craven Richard, and then just chaos broke out on in the final 15 laps. But that's pretty much sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time, a typical XASCAR race where we'll have a nice green flag run, and then somewhere and if it's at the start or the end of the race, it's usually pretty chaotic. So pretty much a typical XASCAR race. I hate how the championship kind of ended like that, but all in all, congrats to Jason Marshall on the championship. Congrats to Ethan Workman on the win. It's been a fun season, a lot of ups and downs, but I'm glad to be in the booth for it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a blast this season once again, calling the action here for the XASCAR Motorsport Cup Series, this time on BRN, bringing it home with me to my own channel. So it's been really fun to have them on board with us here on the YouTube and the Twitch channel, and I'm very glad and hope to continue that. into next season. So one season ends tonight, another season ends tomorrow night. The SoFa Racing League goes racing at Chicagoland for their Season 8 finale. 4 drivers there will be competing for a championship. Only one will come away victorious. We'll keep our eyes peeled on that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern here on BRN. And then, of course, Tuesday night, the Slide Job Racing League gets ready to set their playoff field of 10, 11, 12, however many ends up being, with their final race of the regular season, Talladega looming. That is this upcoming Tuesday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, here on BRN, Twitch, and YouTube both. Look forward to seeing you guys there, and thank you for tuning in as always to these broadcasts. Thank you to the drivers, because if it wasn't for them, we would have nothing to show. Thank you, Ryan Bogey, for always being a part of BRN and joining in on the BRN family. And congratulations goes out to Ethan Workman and Jason Marshall, winners here tonight. Workman wins the race, Marshall wins the championship. Thank you as always for Season 16 of XASCAR coming to a close. I want to thank you for all that you have done and all you have seen. So long, good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the SoFa Racing League Season 8 finale.